You might get a little Spanish mixed in.
That's fine. The Spanish or English. People will see it no matter what.
Yeah.
This this part will put like a music on the background. So you can say whatever you want. It won't get affected.
Cool.
I can hear everything with this.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at this. This is gorgeous. You know, the sun's coming up. The colors are just amazing. These people will start taking off here soon with the paramotors. So I always like to come in around this time because this is where the airport kind of wakes up, you know.
And this is your aircraft?
Yep, this is a R22 Beta 2. So when this helicopter was made back in the 1970s, like early 80s, the guy had worked for 2 helicopter companies. He worked for Hughes, for Bell, and nobody would listen to him because everybody was after the military contracts. Frank Robinson saw this as a personal vehicle for the masses to kind of get around. So then when they say, oh, they haven't invented the flying car, no, actually this is the flying car right here. He wanted everybody to basically enjoy it and fly it, so made it very affordable. This is the Robinson helicopter. It's the most sold helicopter in the world. When it comes to, as far as all the companies combined, Robinson sells more aircraft here in the US and worldwide than anybody else. This one was actually in Venezuela, flying in El Avila.
El Avila, yeah.
Oh,
no shit.
Yeah.
How much is the aircraft?
So if you wanted to buy that aircraft right now, they're up in the 350s right now.
Okay.
So, but it used to be $250,000, so $275,000.
Yeah.
And the bigger one used to be $500,000. Now that bigger one is about $800,000, and the turbine version is up to over $1 million, like 1.2 million, 1.3 million.
And this is the most commercial sold.
Yeah. As far as
it's private or commercial.
So the company is I believe it's a private company, if I'm not mistaken. But they sell, to individual aircraft owners. They sell to flight schools, commercial operators. They, you name it, they sell it. But the vision, like I said, Frank Robinson saw this as it was never really meant for initially to train in. He wanted owners to fly it, but because of the affordability, it just made it, it made a sense for them to use as a trainer. Very basic. I've flown actually the most basic kind of this helicopter, the HB that's still out there, but this is a Beta 2. But so you have your tachometers, airspeed indicators, manifold pressure, which gives me about all the power, altitude, and vertical speed indicators. So as far as, and then obviously very important, fuel gauges. Your pressures, temperatures, how hot your cylinder head is. We have a comm radio to talk to everybody around so we can coordinate. But it's really simple design. If I open up here, you can take a look.
How many aircraft do you have?
So right now, this company has 2 aircraft, right? So this one's running right now. They have another one, what they call on overhaul. So when we have enough demand, we'll get that one built up and ready to go. The other one's blue. They call it El Azul. El Azul. But yeah, so like I said, very basic design. This has an 0360 engine in it. So a Lycoming 0360. Powerful is up to 180, but they derated down to like 145, and then it keeps kind of going down. The bottom number is like 124 horsepower, or brake horsepower, what they call it. But this fan right here, interesting enough, so what it does, because as you can see, there's no radiator in it, right?
No.
So this engine is fully air cooled, so it's drawing that air through to constantly keep it cool. And then the open design just keeps it, nice and cool. So very up to 2,200 hours you can fly this aircraft.
Oh wow!
With just a little maintenance here and there, but nothing major. You don't have to change components. That was the attractive thing, because a lot of the helicopters, every 1,000 hours, every 500 hours, something would have to get changed. But this is, this is a magnificent platform. R22, R44, anything Robinson, R66, they're great products.
Oh,
so,
I see that.
Yeah.
Wow. And I got a question. Talk about a little about the company who you work for at the moment.
Rotor School, yes.
Rotor School.
Yeah.
They're Venezuelan owned.
They're Venezuelan owned. It is 5 partners. Main one, you got Francisco Pacheco, Alejandro Mendoza. You make Gabriel Armas and his mom Ilse Medina. And there is one more gentleman that I'm leaving out. Apologies for that. but so it's some partners. They started in El Avila about 30 years ago in Caracas, Venezuela.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, due to the condition of the government over there, they had to immigrate, and so it took them a good 6 years to get this actually created. And through all the processes for it to come over to the States, get rebuilt back up, get recertified here in the U.S. So I got to see that whole process of it becoming recertified.
Oh, I know that.
And then we flew it from North Perry Airport to here in its home base in Lake Wales.
Okay.
At least when it came to that, I joined the company with the vision that this was the first U.S. base, but I would love to see other bases out there. So for other people that are interested in maybe growing with aviation, it would be awesome to multiply and eventually take it overseas again too, with friendly governments, because if you can do it at an affordable, cost, here, other places that are friendly to aviation, why not?
Why not? So it's beautiful.
So
there's a passion for people flying and
I discovered that when I was flying tours in Myrtle Beach. I did that for about 11 months, and I didn't realize how many people had never flown in a helicopter, and it was such a extraordinary experience for them. They're probably gonna do it maybe once or twice in their lifetime. But so it became, I saw the uniqueness of it, and as far as the tour aspect, that's great in a sense, but when you get down to brass tacks, training the people that are actually going to be doing those tours, that are
flying,
that are going to fly the medevac missions, they're going to fly the news, so it's very important to get a great pilot out there, somebody that has a lot of experience, integrity, because hey, being in the fire service, over 12 years, you have to have, if things are messed up, broken, you have to take accountability for, hey, this is not a toy, even though it kind of looks like a bigger toy, it's not. So you have to, if something's broken, you gotta raise your hand and say, hey, hold on, we gotta fix this. So it comes, so that's all the things that I learned. I took my first flight in one of these in 2016, and I guess I never looked back.
Never look back, man. It's amazing opportunity that I have. I'm just show you here the aircraft. Wow, this is taking me. How many helicopter schools there are in Florida? Not that many.
So in the area, I know of only, I'd say about 4 per se, and none of them are really in a central location like we are. So we are here in Lake Wales, Florida today, and that puts us in the middle of Tampa, Orlando,
Lake County.
Lake is kind of close. This is actually Polk.
But Polk County, Haines City.
So all those little cities.
So Central Florida.
We, believe it or not, a lion's share of our students are coming down from South Florida. We have a student that comes from Doral, from Miami. And we have another one that lives in the Keys. That is
from the Keys?
Coming all the way up here to train with us.
Oh my God. For those who don't know, the Keys are what, 8 hours?
About 5 hours.
5 hours from here?
Yeah, 5 hours from here. So, and we had a guy, our first graduate, came from Aruba. He's working with the police in Aruba. and he came and got his commercial certificate. That in itself, and we can probably open that up when we hit the studio, but just kind of prompt me. But just long and short of it, we did that certification in 7 days. So
7 days.
7 days.
Wait. Wait. How long take me? Let's say I want to fly a helicopter. How long will it take me?
It would take a couple years. Now, granted, so the special case with this gentleman, Gabriel Guzman, Gabo, shout out to him if he sees this.
Yeah, you will.
So he had plenty of hours. He was actually their last instructor in Venezuela. So for him to come in and knock out the knowledge and the flying, it was very easy. So he was able to do it in a very short amount of time.
Previous experience.
Yeah. We don't guarantee that to everybody.
Yeah.
But it was a very extraordinary situation in that we had just opened here. So we hit the ground running, literally. Like, he came in, took his test, and it just went from there.
How long normally it takes to become a certified helicopter?
Like a flight instructor, like I am. So it took me, now of course I did it while I was working in the county.
Yeah.
So it took me a good 6 years to get through everything, because I was able to get 2 ratings while I was still working in the fire department. And then that last 2 ratings, the instrument helicopter and the certified flight instructor, I actually had to give up my fire career to get your passion. To sit in that left seat. Yes, sir.
In the left seat.
You know, yep.
That's awesome, man. No, that's awesome. This is a quite unique opportunity.
Yeah.
For me, just to see this world too, because I have no clue.
Yeah, and just kind of open up here. Yeah. I normally keep my door on, but most of the students will have their door off just to get some airflow going.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How long is the flight? Let's say you're training me.
Right.
How long will it take the flight?
So normally what I do, I like to train in 1 hour sessions, no longer than an hour. Okay. I find it that if we're doing, you're doing a lot of complex thinking when you're flying this machine at the beginning. So I like to keep it short because you don't want to overwhelm the students. So about an hour or so, and then I'd say within 10-15 hours of all that, you should be hovering around 6 hours. Some people take longer, some people take shorter. Some people are naturals and they can do it within an hour or 2. Other people, it takes them a good 6-8 hours to basically, okay, I get it now. Because so on like airplanes, so our lift, we're suspended by our lift. So those are our wings right there. Yeah. They're called rotary wings. So by using the collective, we pull some power, and as you can see when I do that, you see our blades kind of tilt a little bit there. Yeah. So then I got to show that student how to get that light enough to lift it off the ground, and then also apply some cyclic and with the pedals, man. And once you change one input, you got to change all of them. So it's a constant dance of just slowly moving these controls and finding the finesse, just almost like you're thinking about it and you're doing it. And it's beautiful when somebody actually connects all the dots and says, okay, I got it. So,
it's a lot. It's like muscle memory. It is like it's like in the fire service when you're driving the engine. Yeah. You know the engine sounds, you know what to park, you know the capabilities of the machine, the pump. Or inside the building, you know how the fire goes. It is really interesting. And do you guys offer bilingual classes for those who speak English?
So mainly, if I was going to train somebody that spoke Spanish, I would speak some Spanish to get a concept across. I would have to have a basic English understanding because there goes the paramotors, they're up. So our examiner speaks English, and that's the only thing he might say hola, but that's about. So the test is all going to be in English. So to reinforce the concept, I'll speak some Spanish or use Google Translate or something to so they can understand it in their own language, but eventually they're going to have a level of English to be able to describe the components and do the maneuvers and get through. Really, when you sit for, we call them check rides, when you sit for a check ride, you're expecting about an hour and a half of training, and then after that, if you do well on that, about an hour flight. Okay. So it's you know, it's a stressful but very rewarding day at the end of the day when the student passes, because it's a culmination of everything, tying all these concepts together, running all the maneuvers, and them actually believing in themselves and saying, you know what, almost like we all took our state tests in fire standards, just believing in ourselves and saying, I can do this. So
it's awesome when you see somebody actually accomplish something, and then actually when you taught them how to do it. It's rewarding as an instructor. I talk to myself too.
I almost like, so I haven't had any kids yet, and I'm getting up to that age to where, you know, I'm like, maybe not, but every time, you know, I see one of my students, they're like, they become, I make them pilots, they become like my kids, you know, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're actually teaching them, you know, from the ground up. They didn't know anything when they sat in that right seat, and by the time they're done, eventually you move over to the left, and that's a whole other ordeal. But one thing I wanted to show you, especially with your last name, is the history of this aircraft. When it comes to it, it's actually dedicated to its last instructor, and I thought you would find that interesting.
Yeah.
The last name Rivas. Joel Rivas was a long-time instructor over there in Venezuela, and he actually taught Gabriel how to fly. So it was, as far as getting his training done here in the U.S., it was very, very easy, because he knew most of the concepts. But yeah, this aircraft is dedicated to their longtime instructor over there in Venezuela.
To the Rivas.
Yeah, Joel Rivas. Yeah. So,
that's really wow.
Yeah.
This is awesome, man.
Yeah.
This is pretty awesome. This is a unique to me. This would be the first. I do a podcast, I do some interviews talking, but never have a chance to actually do this, and people hopefully like it, and then do more things like this. Go to the field and record people doing stuff that are actually cool outside the fire service. This is, and anybody can do it. You need to put the work effort. Yeah, anybody can do it. There's no age restriction, maybe weight restriction.
Yeah, a little bit of weight restriction. So the max on the seat is about 240 pounds. Okay. So definitely want to be somewhere for this type of aircraft. To load it up with 2 people, you want to be somewhere in the 190s at the top end, which I hover very closely to. So I got to exercise and keep moving and drink a lot of fluids. But when it comes to this machine, 240 max on the seat. Now the R44, which is the bigger version of this, can actually take 300 pounds on the seat. So you can be a little bit heavier, but obviously you're gonna pay more in the R44 because you have.
And you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel the weight.
Yeah, you'll feel the weight here for sure. Like if we're gonna do some hovering, it would be this morning by 10 o'clock with the way that the sun's coming up and everything. All your performance would be gone. So you have to put air through the rotor in order to get it moving, you know. So yeah,
that's a whole different language.
Yeah,
you learn a different language.
No, it's not like, you know, you load up a bunch of firemen, a lot of gear, and then just go roll down the road. Actually, you gotta account for the weight, the fuel, all the things that kind of encompass the flying. But yeah, so as far as the weight, and then your knowledge, your book work, you know, that a lot of people love to do the flying, but they don't want to do the book work, and that's really what ends up getting them, because when you're flying, the saying is that here you're performing. This is your act. But if you were going to train an actor, you wouldn't train them on the stage, right?
No, you're training on the
so that you learn all your concepts, everything that you're going to learn, you learn on the ground first, and then after that, here we go perform. So when it comes to that, it's very important for people to take their ground seriously, and it's only going to save them money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I want to take a video shot with the other camera here, and then we can go to the classroom and we can do the podcast. But that was awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
No, thank you man, for your chance.